All right, hey, shalom, shalom, call Loyam Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, a double honors to apostles, elders, and great millstone salutations to you, Akim. That's pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. So, really quick, I just wanted to, go in the spirit on this lesson. I only had a few precepts, just concerning the times that we live in. All right, because of course, the Lord is pretty much, blinding Jake at this point. I just watched Defenders of the Truth. All right, I think the brothers from Baltimore. I'm not sure exactly, but you got another camp. Trying to say is, the mark that's going to be given is not going to be given to individuals. And you know, I was just thinking earlier. As scriptures talk about, it's high time to come out of sleep. All right, and that time is now. Okay, all right, and for the most part, our people underestimate this devil, and they really don't understand to what lengths he's going, and what he's doing is very calculated. All right, as far as coming against us, and such a way where not only is he going to try to have us put us in a position where we're pretty much desperate for him, or desperate to take his help or his aid. He's trying to completely take our souls. Okay, it's very diabolical. All right, but if if you've been following this devil, you understand truly who the enemy is and how they work. You have to really look at history. You know, and perfect. Um, you know, perfect part in history is probably the Hasmonean dynasty, when Judas of Maccabees, fought against the Edomites. All right, and I think it was the Seleucid Empire, if I'm not mistaken. If it is, Salaki, correct me. But and Antiochus. In fact, let's look this guy up. You know, Antiochus Epiphanes. All right, or Antiochus. All right, okay, and this guy pretty much, led the abomination that make it desolate. Pretty much stopped uh, Israel from, sacrificing, keeping the high holy days, and he put us to death on the spot. You know, all right, and this guy was diabolical. Okay, and now you have more diabolical Edomites who run the world, and they clearly telling you what they want to do. Rid the world of rid the world of people, and with claims that the world is overpopulated, you know, and their whole philosophy behind it is is scientific driven technocracy. Brothers is going into that today. I made a lesson on this about a few years ago, and how this society is transforming because of the technology. Okay, and I'll read a little bit of it. In Salakia from all over the place, but and again, I just wanted to go in on the spirit on this one. Technocracy is a form of government in which the decision maker or makers are selected based on their expertise in a given area of responsibility, particularly with regard to scientific or technological or technical, knowledge. The system explicitly contrasts with representative democracy. All right. It says the notion that elected representatives should be the primary decision makers in government, though it does not necessarily imply eliminating elected representative decision makers, are selected based on specialized knowledge, all right, and performance rather than political affiliations, all right, parliamentary skills or popularity. Okay, and see, this is what's been going down for the last few years. All right, you have Bill Gates, who really doesn't have a background in, the medical field. He's an anthropologist, and he's an expert in wiping people out. All right, and these are the people like excuse me, him. You have Yuval Harari, and then you got that guy uh, Klaus Schwabsticker. Okay, and these guys are no experts, but they're experts in wickedness. Okay, but they were the ones that was making all the decisions. All right, they got all the technocrats and all all these corporations to make all these inoculations to do their bidding, and that's what's been going on for the last few years. And Jake is really not paying attention to the signs of the times, and they really don't know the extent of this devil. All right, that's why you always have to look at history, because this dude was diabolical, and they come in the same spirit. And at this time, during the time of the Hasmonean dynasty, Antiochus Epiphanes, he wanted to make the world one. He wanted to make all his subjects be under his rule. All right, all the people of the known world. Okay, so I read a little bit about him, but going to that history, you read First Maccabees, the first chapter, all the way to like the third or fourth chapter. It goes in about this guy. All right, and and I believe it's Daniel 9 that speaks on him as well. This guy is, you know, he he's the epitome of what an Edomite is, and really, um, it's another guy, Yuval. You know, and that's why it's important to understand your enemy. Okay, I'll read a little bit about him. All right. Let's see. Was a Greek Hellenistic king who ruled the Seleucid Empire. Right. So he was the head of the Seleucid Empire at one point, from 175 BC until his death at 164 BC. He was a son of a king, Antiochus III the Great, originally named Mithridates, uh, alternative from Mithridates. All right, he assumed the name Antiochus or Antiochus, however you want to say it, after he ascended the throne. Notable events during Antiochus' reign include his near conquest of the Ptolemaic Empire, or Egypt, his persecution of the Jews of Judea and Samaria, and the rebellion of the Jewish Maccabees. Okay, and as he played a major role in that time during that time. Okay, in his war, his persecution of the Jews, we'll read a little bit about it. It says the Seleucids, like the Ptolemies before them, and these are all Edomites, by the way. All right, you did have Israelites among them who, as you read First Maccabees 1 and 10 on down, it says wicked men went out of Israel, and pretty much sought licenses after the heathenistic customs. All right, but mainly the Seleucids and the Ptolemies was an offspawn from Alexander's uh, him coming to power, the Edomites coming to power. He had his four generals. All right, Lysimachus, Cassander, and Antagonist, which are interchangeable. All right, and uh, you had Ptolemy, okay, or Seleucids. I'm sorry. All right, these individuals, which we're speaking on, pretty much took over. But these are all Edomites. All right, it says before them held a what is that? Suzerainty over Judea, and this is the rights and obligations of a person, state, or other polity who control the foreign policy and relations of a tributary state. All right, so we were tributary to these Edomites at one point. All right, and still are. It says they respected Jewish culture and protected Jewish institutions. The policy was drastically reversed by Antiochus of the fourth. See, so at one point we were just tributaries, but there came to a point where they cut that off. All right, seemingly after what was either a dispute over leadership of the temple in Jerusalem and the office of high priest, or possibly a revolt whose nature was lost to time after being crushed. Antiochus issued decrees forbidding many traditional Jewish practices and began a campaign of persecution against devout Jews. You see, so they couldn't follow their own customs. We couldn't follow our own customs at one point in time, and they had strict, pretty much capital punishment if we, kept the Sabbath or if we sacrificed in the temple, things like that. Okay, and it's important to understand the devil because that's who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the epitome of these Edomites at their last stronghold, their last stand, and they're at the height of their power. You see, and they can do whatever the hell they want, but Jake is continuing to ignore it, and these individuals who speak against, the chip being the RFID chip being the MOTB, they have ulterior motives when it comes to, living in this world. They're supposed to pretty much forsake this world completely. And it seems as though they feel as though there's a little hope. That's why they speak against, the RFID chip being the MOTB. Okay. And shalom to those on the comment board. But it's important again to know your enemies, man. All right. Always understand that history because these things are perpetual. What's happening on earth has been happening since the beginning of our inception in this earth. All right. As a nation, we were one of the last nations to, pretty much rule. We're the youngest nation in the world. All right, one of the youngest. All right, it says swine. It said were strictly unclean to Jews, but Diodorus wrote Antiochus sacrificed a great swine at the image of Moses and at the altar of God that stood in the outward court and sprinkled them with the blood of the sacrifice. You see, so they did these abominable works. All right, and they added insult to injury by sprinkling that blood. All right. It says he commanded likewise that the books by which they were taught to hate all other nations should be sprinkled with the broth made from the swine's flesh. You see that? All right. And he put out the lamp called by them immortal, which burns continually in the temple. Lastly, he forced the high priest and the other Jews to eat swine's flesh. And that's, I believe, Judas and Maccabees' fathers. I think his name was Mattathias. I might be wrong. All right. He didn't bow the knee. All right. He didn't bow to the will of these Edomites, and he was put to death. But he was an example for the believers. Okay. Such steps triggered a revolt against his rule, the Maccabean revolt. All right. We go into that. All right. Was a Jewish rebellion, and when you read the Maccabees, you'll find that information. All right, it says the Maccabean revolt was a Jewish rebellion led by the Maccabees against the Seleucid Empire and against Hellenistic influence on Jewish life. The main phase of the revolt lasted from 167 BCE to 160 BCE. All right. And ended with the Seleucids in control of Judea. Okay, but it pretty much didn't end there. Eventually the Romans came into power, which are Edomites, and a plethora of other nations. All right, who gave help to Israel. All right, but we were still in a catch-22. Still had to serve the Edomites, and eventually the Romans persecuted us. Okay. But that's the history. All right. And it's important to know your enemy because these people are very diabolical. You know, some of the things that they say is just, well, let's go into it. We got his quotes. In a world deluged by irrelevant information, clarity is power. Evolve. And humans think in stories rather than in facts. Yep. So you got a lot of sayings, man, and what they're saying is diabolical, especially to us in our heritage, which is this world. Scriptures talk about that their inner thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and through their technocracy, through their um, this technocratic process in which we live in a technocratic process with these people who deal in science. They are the heads now. They've been so for the last few years. They completely taken over. Politics is completely compromised by these corporations and people that these private interest groups. Okay, um, who want to pretty much destroy mankind. All right. All right. I would have to get. Let me see if I can find something. Not under our skin. Realize how little they knew about the world. They suddenly had a very good reason to see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Well, you look this dude up, and he's got plenty of sound bites with him. Basically, saying, that that humans can be hacked. Let's see. Yeah. And this is what they're talking about at the World Economic Forum. They just had another one in Davos. Okay. So this thing is not like this is not a joke. All right. Let's see what they say about the Lord. Let's see if we can find anything about him. All right. It says, what is this him? Yep. There is no gods, no nations, no money, and no human rights, except in our collective imagination. So that's their mindset. Okay. No gods. They don't believe in the Lord. They only believe in their technology and their science. They don't believe in nations. They erase the lines of nationality, which is very important. Okay, because the Lord gave us all a nationality. He determined, um, our futures. Uh, for lack of better words, He has a determination for all the nations. Basically, I always say that He's always had a determination for all the nations. And his determination for us was that we rule in the everlasting kingdom with his son. Okay. No money, and that's going into the CBDC, and no human rights because what? They want everyone to be a slave. All right. And this is out of their own words. But Jake act like, this thing ain't happening the way it's happening. And those that's really watching, we seeing everything unfold while Jake just, playing around and trying to combat us because through pride, really, all right, because we pretty much laid the groundwork, starting with the elders apostles, when it comes to the information about the MOTB. All right, there's plenty of information. All right, it's really not enough for Jake. All right, you even got these Edomites, all right, who know about the MOTB. Okay, which fulfills the scripture that says the children basically some to the extent of the children of this world no more than the children of light. All right, I butchered it, but it's somewhat along those lines. All right, look at that. Morality doesn't mean following divine commandments. This is the mindset of these Edomites who run the world. It means reducing suffering. Hence, in order to act morally, you don't need to believe in any myth or story. And they're mainly talking about the scriptures. It says you just need to develop a deep appreciation of suffering. All right, which they're gonna make that very very the reality the reality. All right, and the present time that we live in, generating crises and more and stuff like that. Okay, one more and then we'll go back because I did have a few precepts. All right. Earlier I said you go on. Let's see. Oh, hacking humans. People are hackable. What the hell does he mean by that? All right. And if you've really been paying attention, I'm talking about really paying attention to what these devils have been doing. All right. And if you know about the graphene, all right, which is in the jump shots, you understand what scientifically what they're trying to do. Okay. Homo sapiens rule the world because it is only animal that can believe in things that exist purely in its own imagination, such as God. All right. Keep saying this shit. Yeah, these Edomites, man. All you got to do is look them up, man. You know, I can't find it right now. Look these individuals up, okay? Because we're in the times where what the plagues are going to take hold of this place, and you know we pretty much got to be prepared. All right. And you see most of the jakes that speak indifferent when it comes to the RFID chip being the MOTB. They have an alternative motive. All right. They enjoy this world when in reality you're supposed to let this world go. So 2 Ezra 16 and 37, behold the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. All right. And the closer we get to that, the deliverance of this child, which is Yahweh Shai coming back, all right, the more the pains start to take over. Okay. The more calamities that's going to, overrun this place. All right. Okay. You had 220 million people who was without power, and I think it's Pakistan. Okay. That's nothing light. That ain't nothing light to just look at and to overlook. But Jake, they overlook these things because they don't understand their enemy and essentially what their enemy is about to do. All right. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn. All right. And sorrow shall come upon it on every side. All right. And I heard it from their own moms that they want the world to be like, to go back to the 17th century without lights. All right. Without working utilities. All right. The conveniences that we enjoy and really, you know, how can I say, and don't have really appreciation for. Okay. And so what's about to happen, the Lord is using this devil to attack the pride of you people, of the people out here. Okay. It says, "Oh my people," verse 40, "hear my word, make you ready to the battle." What battle? We have a battle. All right. And that battle, all right, is versus Esau. Okay. And the things that he has set up for us in this time, because he don't want us to get our inheritance. They don't want us to know that we're the children of the Lord. So they're going to gaslight us. They're going to try to shame us and persecute us, to take that away, because they're in their last, essentially they're taking their last stand. That's what this whole technocracy thing is about. That's what this whole, using AI to, to pretty much circumvent the world, them finding immortality through science. you know, that's what this is all about. This Esau making his last stand. All right. So let's go back. It says, even so, Slack, it says, oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. We go into this all the time. What is a pilgrim? All right. Because Jake don't have that mindset. They think that, life is going to just go on the way it has been. And, the Lord is just going to show up one day. Everything going to be cool. No, it's going to be complete chaos. The scriptures tell you in Luke 12, and 49, the Lord is coming to send fire. What will I if it already be kindled? So it's gonna be chaos. That fire represents affliction, man. That's gonna be here on this earth. Pilgrim, a person traveling to a holy place. How many of you in your mind how your mind have your thoughts on the kingdom? All right, and that's my question. Do Jake really have a mind on the kingdom? Because if you did, you would know that we're at the end of an age, and that everything, as the scriptures say, the fashion of this world is going to pass away. Everything that we know in our reality, in this pseudo environment that we live in, is going to pass away. It's transitory. It's only for a short time. It's here for a moment. It's going to be gone. All right. Especially all these conveniences that we have. Okay. Because the scripture says sorrow shall come upon every side. Ecclesiastes 12:1. All right. Remember the Creator in the days of our youth, while the evil days draw nigh. Okay. We're supposed to what? We're supposed to build our faith in the Lord, but really deep down, these camps who speak in opposition of the RFID chip being the MOTB, they have an alternative motive. That means they're really for this place, and they really hope, deep down, they hope that it ain't what we saying it is. You see, and that's why they proud and speak against it, because really they think deep down that this devil ain't capable of what we saying he capable of. Wait, you wait. Just you wait. Okay, that's all I gotta say. It's just you wait. So pilgrim, it says as a penance or to discharge some vow or the religious obligation or seeking some miracle or spiritual benefit. That's what we're seeking. We're seeking a miracle. We're not talking about generational wealth. The only generational wealth we have is the scriptures and leaning upon the Lord. All right, which the Lord's true servants, He's already gearing them up to, to let go of this world completely. All right, a lot of you are invested in this world, and you really don't know to what extent. You really don't until shit hits the fan, and then that's when a lot of people are going to be known who they truly are. All right, and one of the things I'll never forget is Apostle Har said what he couldn't wait for Revelations 2:10. All right, because better is the end of the thing than the beginning. He can't wait. I can't wait. I personally, at first, I was like, wow, that's a huge stand. That's a huge statement to make. But that's the most rational statement I ever heard in my life regarding this truth in our current time, this place in time and space. All right. Also, a traveler, generally a wayfarer. That's who we are, wayfarers. Okay. It says a pilgrim, crusader, foreigner, stranger. That's what we are. We're foreigners from our land, strangers. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. A wayfarer. All right. Let's see. Uh, all right, so I don't have it. But a wayfarer is the same thing as a pilgrim, pretty much. Those that's looking for a miracle. All right. And that's what we're looking for. Okay. And so this is First Corinthians 4:18. Or 4:8, excuse me. It says, "For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle?" Okay. And that's just that's dealing with, the doctrine. Okay. All right. Because, we're playing the fine tune. All right. Everything that we're saying is pretty much adding up. All right. And we're studying what they're doing. We're studying what they're about. We're seeing them at their councils. All right. We know their innermost, deepest thoughts because the scriptures say it, man. The scriptures say it. All right. They want their houses to continue forever. And we know this is a battle against good and evil. We know what, let's see, Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, the 9th verse. Okay. I just got a little bit more and then I'm going to close out. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world." All right. If Esau is the end of the world, let me just pull up another tab. If he's the end of the world, and it says their innermost thoughts, I think it goes like this. Bear with me for a second. So Psalms 49:11, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. All right. So their thought is that what? Their houses shall continue forever. But what did the Lord say? According to the Lord, all right, he was going to establish Israel in the earth, and the law was going to proceed from Zion. And there's tons of promises that was promised to us, okay, that we have yet to receive, okay. And if he's at the end of his world, all right, thinking, having the mindset that he has, Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, when you read that, it gives you his whole mindset. They don't want the poor to rule. They don't want anyone to have any type of freedom in this world, and they're telling you that. That's why they bring in this whole carbon tax, decarbonization, and all this other stuff, this madness that they're bringing up, because essentially they want to take our inheritance away from us, and they want to continue to rule the world in wickedness. All right. That's why they're flooding the world. They're flooding the gates with nothing but concupiscence. All right. They're flooding the gates with nothing more than, wickedness, iniquity. Iniquity is a better word. All right. Because they don't want us to inherit, all right, the world. Okay. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. They know this. They have always known it. All right. You don't take your enemy light. All right. And boxing is a good example. All right. Because anyone has a puncher's chance. That's what they call it. All right. You can be very skilled, but all you got to do is slip up and get countered. All right. And the reason for that, and the reason you might get countered is taking your opponent lightly. Never take your opponent lightly, especially a man whose blessing is the sword. His blessing is the sword. All right. And he got it. He has technology at his behest. So, in my mind, I'm not going to put it past this devil at all that he wants to enslave. They're telling you they want to enslave everyone. All right. They're telling you they want to enslave every damn body, man. Look, hacking humans. Okay. I know they're going to try to hit me with a strike or something. I got like 3 copyright infringements the last 2 weeks. Okay. This is their mindset, man. All right. Fusing technology with your biology. All right. I think this nigga gay. Nigga gay too. See? Wait a minute, man. This nigga punk. But yeah, man. You know? So let me continue. All right. It says for the 1 Corinthians 4:18. Or 4:8. I keep saying 18. It said, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? And that's what these camps are doing. Because there's many trumpets. All right, you got trumpets for ceremonies, feasts, high holy days, and then you got trumpet to prepare yourself for war and battle. That's why the Lord set up watchmen. All right, the Lord has set up watchmen upon the wall so they could watch. All right, but then the scriptures talk about dumb dogs that are not able to bark. All right, scriptures talk about that. So you got that dynamic as well. That the Lord has set up watchmen, but you got dumb dogs or dumb watchmen that can't even bark at the sign of an alarm, that can't even bark at the sign of enemies, and that really that really is just setting Israel up or certain individuals up as for slaughter, man. You know, all right. Now we know that there's elect members all over the place, and the Lord has said wherever the carcass is, there that's what the eagle is going to be. If I'm correctly saying that, it don't matter where the elect is, the Lord going to save them. All right. So let's see. Romans 13:11, it says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Okay, this precept was ringing in my head earlier, and this really was the basis for the lesson. Because it's high time to wake up out of sleep. And if you invested in this society and this place and thinking that you can survive, we're not trying to. And I'm saying it. I'm saying it like this. I don't want to say we're not trying to survive this place because we are. We're not trying to be in this society any longer. We want to go home, and that should be the thought process for all of us. Okay, being in one like mind. All right, and hasting for that day, man. All right. It says Romans 13:12. It says the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness. And we got to cast off this world and open ourselves up to a new world. All right, to a new understanding, a refreshed understanding. All right, of the Lord and His will. Okay, and His will is to completely, utterly destroy this place. All right. And let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly, all right, as in the day, not in rioting and in drunkenness, because that's what most of our people are doing. All right. They're rioting and they're in drunkenness. All right. Meaning basically they don't have any control. All right. They're just staggering. All right. And that's spiritual. Okay. They're staggering with their doctrine and their teaching. Okay. Because at the end of the day, um, it really goes back to the people that don't want to believe, the camps that don't want to say that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. These are the camps that are vested in this society and they really deep down don't want it to go. They don't want it to go or be destroyed. And and I can guarantee that. All right, deep down they don't want this place to be destroyed. This is not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy. A lot of you mad and want a status in this society. All right, we don't want any status in this society. We don't even want to see this society anymore. All right. So go into that, look up technocracy, look up the fourth industrial revolution. All right, for those that's new, if you're not, you already know. If you know, you know. Look into the history, First Maccabees. Look into the mindset of these devils. All right, read Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. Look into the mindset of these devils, man, and look at what they're doing as we speak. Now, what are they saying? All right, because we ain't just making this shit up. They're saying that they want to depopulate the world. They're saying it openly at TED Talks, at the World Economic Forum, and they've produced this this whole philosophy dealing with global warming and decarbonization, so they can essentially enslave people and control people's every moment in their lives, control how much people eat, control how much people travel. They're saying these things. We ain't making this shit up, and that's what's vexing. All right, because they're openly doing these things and telling you that they're doing them. They're doing these things without any fucking fear, or without any fear of backlash from the masses of the people. And here you go, you dumbass niggas, you dumbass Israelites, and I'll just say it like that. You don't even see what the fuck is going on, man. And it ain't even mind-boggling, because the scriptures say what it say. I can't get mad because the Lord said what he said. Moses cursed you. David cursed you. All right. And if you know, you know. It's the same person. All right. The Lord spread a veil over Israel. And that's just what it is, man. They're not going to get it because they're proud. And that's why you have all these different groups now coming out saying what you know what that means exactly? It means that the Lord is about to make a move. He's about to put the spirit on this devil to make a move. And all that shit y'all talking, well, it's just gonna be shit. All right. Because, the proof is in pudding. Okay. And they're gonna do what the fuck they saying they doing. And regardless not if you niggas believe it or not, that's on you. Okay. Hey, Lord, when this lesson was edifying, all right, I pretty much went in the spirit, it was just on my mind, this precept, Romans 13 and 11, and that knowing the time that it is high, that now it is high time, meaning it's due time. I want to read it in the NLT too. Almost forgot. See, look, the things that we're learning is urgent, and it's important that we are taking in what we know and through the spirit, like the Yahweh Shai said, watching with prayer. Okay, watching it with prayer. Okay, Romans 13:11 in NLT, it says this is all the more urgent for you now, for you know how late it is. It's late in the game as far as this information, because at any time they can cut it. It says time is running out, and that's for damn sure. Wake up, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. And when we first believed, brothers in our camp, we already know. We felt like tomorrow was the day when we was receiving certain information. We thought that the world was going to end within days. All right, and we just had that type of urgency. We traveled across town to get this information, and I'm talking about daily. Okay, and that's how urgent it was, and it's more urgent now. All right. It says the night is almost gone. The night, the society represents the night. Okay. The day of salvation will soon be here. You see, and it's more closer than we ever fucking thought. This could be the fucking year, man. You know, I hope. All right. It says, so remove your dark deeds like dirty clothes and put on the shining armor of right living. All right. And that's what the Lord want us to do. He wants us to live honestly. Okay. He don't want us because it's the end of the world, so we just gonna live our best life. No, hell no. Does that mean you got a target on your back? All right. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom. Hey, we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakodash. Hey, double honors to apostles, elders, and great millstones. Salutations to you, I can push and work in truth and sincerity. Shalom.